So my next question is, funding for pre-kindergarten and K-12 education impacts many Black families. Do you think this issue will help turn out the Black vote? And are we talking about that enough?
I don't think we are talking about it enough. I think there's a lot of different things when it comes to education that we're not keeping up. Let's be honest. One of the programs that I worked on in Congress was dual enrollment, and it's not an optional program. But if you were a student in high school who has an opportunity to go to a community college for free via your institution, why would you not do so and encourage that, especially for people of color? Because we have kids now graduating with an associate's degree from high school. And when we talk about that, I completely agree, we should not be paying anything at all. When we talk about that, imagine taking those 2 years off, and then for now, with our current system only having 2 years of school to pay for it. That would make a huge difference in our youth. And so I think that it's a matter of looking at programs like that, but also talking about the facts. We know that our inner city schools are severely underfunded. Title I programs can only be so much. And Title I courses of funding that goes to schools. And so it really is a matter of making sure that, again, from the president on down, that when these people are running, we're asking questions. How are you going to fund these schools? How are you going to do X, Y, Z? There's a lot of cities right now that their urban cores are being developed. So why is that not right now going to schools? And so there's many innovative ways that we can do things outside of the federal level to help increase funding for schools. We just have to get serious with the people about focusing with holding our people accountable.
So I absolutely agree with everything. And not only is it pre-K, we've now found out, as many of you know, that the majority of our students, in many cases, are getting their food and shelter and care in K-12. Right? We found out in the pandemic that even though students were home, there were schools who were still operating their school cafeteria lunches and bringing students food at home. So now we're dealing with food insecurity. All that's a part of the school system. We've now learned through COVID, many of our students are actually getting health care through the nurses at schools, for the schools that have nurses. We've also now learned that many of our students are also starting to see more and more clinicians at the schools when we talk about school counselors and guidance counselors. So there's a whole ecosystem around education that's not being talked about. And again, we now learn that pre-K is taking a huge amount of chunk out of people's check. People literally cannot afford early child care. People literally cannot afford daycare anymore. And so people are having to determine whether they can pay for daycare or have full-time working jobs. All that's a part of the education system. We now know that they're now saying that children need to start, instead of learning at 4 and 5, children need to be in school at 3.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a big deal. And so if other people's children are starting at 3 and we're starting our kids at 4 and 5, we're behind. So we got to really think about that.
Also, I think specifically, yes, it will burden families, but specifically women. Like women in the workforce it will be to their detriment, having to pay. I know, because I was like a single mom most of my life. And having to pay for those services, it will cripple your career, your ability to finish school, all these sort of things. So yes, families, but I think disproportionately women.
Thank you for sharing that. So